Today we're going to do 6-6 organizing data using matrices. A matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns enclosed in brackets. Using matrices is something that you're going to do a little bit more of later on in Algebra 1 to learn how to solve systems of equations. It's just another method of doing that. And you'll also use it in Algebra 2 to solve systems of equations. Each number in a matrix is called an element, so each one of the numbers in the rows and columns are elements. A matrix is usually named using an uppercase letter. In this case, it's letter A. A matrix can be described by its dimensions, or the number of rows and columns in the matrix. Rows are horizontal, and columns are vertical. So columns are the up and down, and horizontal or the across. A matrix with m rows and n columns is an m by n matrix. Matrix A is a 3 by 4 matrix because it has 3 rows horizontal and 4 columns vertical. In example 1, we will determine the dimensions of a matrix. First, we will state the dimensions of the matrix, and then we will identify the position of the circled element in the matrix. Matrix A is a 2 by 3 matrix. It has 2 rows and 3 columns. The element -5 is located in row 2, column 2. It's time for self-check number 1. I want you to state the dimensions of this matrix and then identify the position of the circled element in this matrix. Be sure to put your answer on your worksheet and on the online worksheet to submit to me. In example 2, we will add matrices. If 2 matrices have the same dimensions, they can be added together. So they must have the same exact number of columns and rows in order to be added together. You cannot add them if their dimensions are different. You add matrices by adding the corresponding elements of the matrices. Let's call these Matrix A and Matrix B. We'll take the first element in the first column, first row of each matrix, and we'll add them together. So 7 plus -3. And we'll continue to do that with each element. -2 plus 4, 11 plus 5, -14 plus -4, 8 plus 6, and 1 plus -1. Here's where you need to be very careful when you add the numbers together. Be sure to add your integers correctly to get the correct answer. So 7 plus -3 is 4, and we'll put it in the corresponding place in the answer matrix. -2 plus 4 is 2, 11 plus 5 is 16, -14 plus -4 is -18, 8 plus 6 is 14, and 1 plus -1 is 0. So this is our answer matrix. Here is self-check number 2. Add these matrices together and come up with an answer matrix. Make sure you put your answer and show your work on the back of your note paper, and put your answer on your online form to submit to me. In example 3, we will subtract matrices. If 2 matrices have the same dimensions, then they can be subtracted. The same as with addition, they must have the exact same number of rows and the exact same number of columns. You subtract matrices by subtracting the corresponding elements of the matrices. So we could call this Matrix A and this Matrix B. We'll take the corresponding elements and we'll subtract them this time, showing our work in a matrix. 2 minus 6, -5 minus -3, 8 minus -9, and 12 minus 1. Be very careful here to subtract your integers correctly to get a correct answer. 2 minus 6, we'll put that in the answer matrix in the corresponding position at -4. -5 minus -3 is -2. 8 minus -9 is 17. And 12 minus 1 is 11. So this would be our answer matrix. In self-check number 3, subtract the two matrices and come up with an answer matrix. Be sure to show your work and your answer on your note page, and show your answer on your online notes to submit to me. In example 4, we are going to multiply a matrix by a scalar. You can multiply any matrix by a constant called a scalar. This operation is called scalar multiplication, and it's done by multiplying each element of the matrix by the scalar. If A equals the matrix shown, then find negative 3A. To find negative 3A, we would multiply negative 3 times each element in the matrix. So we'll start with negative 3 times negative 9 and negative 3 times 3. We'll go to the second row, negative 3 times 5 and negative 3 times negative 11. And then we'll go to the third row, negative 3 times 2 and negative 3 times 7. Be very careful in multiplying your integers to get the correct answer. Negative 3 times negative 9 is 27. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Negative 3 times negative 11 is 33. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. And here's your answer matrix. And just as it is in addition and subtraction, your answer matrix will have the same number of rows and columns as your beginning matrix. Finally, we have self-check number 4. In this self-check, you will multiply a matrix by a scalar. If B equals this matrix, then find 2 times B. Be sure to show your work and your answer matrix on the back of your note page and your answer on your online form to submit to me.